Hello, beautiful souls. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and on when you are, where you are. And today, I'd like to talk about meditation. I'd like to give you my perspective of it and how this will be important for the living in the fifth dimension journey. This is so fundamental, so basic, and mastering meditation or concentration is a great key. So I'll be talking about nature of mind, states of mind, concentration, the observer, and we're gonna do a little practice. Nature of mind. Yeah, this is something that as you meditate, you get a feeling of it. And different schools of thought have their own perspective, but a very close perspective about the nature of mind. And stepping back a little bit just to give you my background, the meditation. I have done the 8 weeks mindfulness course with a PhD when I was in Purdue University. I did Hashra meditation. I did Rosicrucian meditation. My most recent initiation in this topic was transcendental meditation. They are all a little different, but they are all very similar. And the Rosicrucian meditation, of course. And I'm gonna bring those pieces of perspectives and my own perspective to talk about the nature of mind. What is the mind? Where is the mind? Where is the consciousness? And how can we better understand that to develop concentration? This is the goal of this topic for this journey. So the nature of mind is to think. However, you are not your thoughts. So this is very important to realize in our busy society, as we do many activities at the same time, and we can be constantly in a very fast-paced environment where we need to think a lot, to do multiple things. It is easy to identify yourself with those thoughts, believing that you are those thoughts, but in reality, you're using the mind. You're using those thoughts. You're using rationality. And the nature of mind is to think. So I'm going to bring a couple of analogies here to help us understanding what the mind is doing. We can think of the mind as a blue sky and the thoughts as the clouds. And, the clouds can keep coming. And if you're very, very busy, you can imagine that as a storm. You have too many thoughts. And if you are in a calmer day, you can have fewer fewer clouds in the sky. And the thing is, every cloud that appears may invite you to wonder its shape, its color. So you start interacting with that thought. And another very good way to explain that and to explain how to drop that is to think of a rope, right? Imagine there is a rope in front of you, you're sitting, and this rope is going very fast, right? And the rope are their thoughts. So as soon as you put the trash outside. I forgot to do that. Oh no, now I forgot that Now remember that I also had this and that to do. Oh, and this too. So, you were burning in your hands. The nature of the mind is to think. So it will keep thinking. But it is up to you to interact with those thoughts or just allow them to come and let them go. And you can drop that rope at any point. No, maybe there's another thought. Let it go. And another thought. Let it go. So this is an exercise. So I learn how to calm your mind. Calm your mind is really just to not interact with the thoughts all the time. And it is important to say that I used to be a very anxious person. So if you wonder, oh, I don't, maybe that's easy for you, but it is not easy for me. Let me tell you something. Like, I meditate for 10 years and I'm still practicing to get better at it. Uh, my background, it is an engineer, so I work solving problems. So, for 8, 9 hours a day, I'm using only the rational mind all the time, thinking. So if I could do that, you can do that. Anyone can do this. Anyone can get better at meditating, at concentrating. And what I realized with the years is how it gets better. Like, you start dropping the anxiety, you start getting more awareness of your thoughts or feelings. There are many benefits already proved um, by science, especially with mindfulness. And I will drop an article with this video, um, with some findings of some scientists describing the benefits of constant meditation practice or mindfulness meditation practice. They use mindfulness because that was the format of meditation they were studying, but it doesn't need to be mindfulness. It can be pretty much any meditation technique that you use to allow yourself to understand the nature of mind and allow yourself to calm down your mind. Okay? Just brainstorming a couple of those benefits. One, it is compassion. This is funny, right? But as we meditate, we develop more compassion. We are exercising the front cortex, and we are a very reactive being. Our time of response is very short. So as soon as something happens to you, you react to that. And as you meditate, you physically change the the interaction of your neurons, allowing more time to react. You expand the time of reaction, which allow you to get get more room to act instead of react. There are also immune system benefits, and of course, intuition, which leads to creativity. So there are many benefits of meditating and exploring the nature of the mind, understanding that we are not our thought, we are not this mental construct, we are something above that, and we're using the mind to manifest ourselves in this reality. And for the last one, breathe, or the breath. So breathing, it's funny how we forget to breathe. We just do that unconsciously, but breathing is so powerful. Like if you're not breathing correctly, if you're not bringing enough oxygen to your body, you're not thinking clear. So as you remember to breathe correctly, breathe deeply, that also alter your state of mind. It calms you down. And that's why many meditations has the breathing as the focus, because you are constantly doing that. And now let me step back up the rationality here and get into the, yeah, just a look further ahead and we come back. But breathing, it is a fractal by itself. Why? Because the universe and God is in constant expanding and contraction. And we're gonna see that in multiple layers, in multiple things. And breathing is that same exercise of expanding and contraction. When we start looking into the Hermetic principles, we will study the principle of correspondence, as above, so below. So tune in, as you tune in with the basic principles, we're going to tune in with higher principles. So breathe in correctly and understand this movement of life, which is expanding and contracting, expanding and contracting, breathing in and breathing out. This can be a gateway to other greater perspectives. So this is a natural movement. And if you're not aware of that, you're just missing a key. But then as you study yourself, you unfold layers of the universe. Okay. Closing this parenthesis, um, states of mind and human brain waves. Yeah, this will be important here. And we're going to have a focus on this journey, right? Because let me go through these levels and I will explain why. But most of the time we are in beta. So that's the conscious waking mind. If you are working as I'm speaking, you were playing a sport, pretty much any awake state, or most of the awake state, because we're going to talk about meditation and some other things, you're going to be in beta. So that is the rational mind, the logic mind. You are dealing with your conscious mind, cognition. You're dealing with the five senses. Okay? And then in this journey, we want to explore the altered states of mind, because that's where we start crossing the veil of the 3D, the veil of reality, and interacting with the multi-dimensions. And the veil is so thin nowadays that sometimes even in beta you can get glimpse. But in alpha and theta, that's where we're gonna really dive into uh those other, or that's where we're gonna cross the veil. Okay. And then alpha, it's the gateway to the subconscious mind. So this is a deep relaxation or a light meditation. When you're very relaxed, or if you're doing a visualization exercise, this is alpha. That time, for me, the best way to describe alpha is that state when you're right about to sleep. You know, you're still awake, but you're always getting uh, into the sleep, and you start visualizing. Looks like your dreamings are getting, but you're not dreaming, you're not sleeping yet. You're almost there. That's alpha. Um, Here we are already. This is already a gateway to cross the veil. And then theta, this is where we start getting in contact with the subconscious mind. And this theta state, it is a more profound state where we can more easily cross the veil. And it is funny, we're gonna do some meditation exercise, but when we invoke some guides to take our hands and cross the veil, we get into those states easier. And that's another beautiful way we do have support to do that. So when we're just doing that uh, rationally, with an intention, that'll be something. And that's what we're going to do for now, because we do need to understand the state of mind. We do need to get used uh, to those different states, and it helped me to understand beta, alpha, theta, delta. So when I'm in an experience, I can better understand where I am, because if I access a key during a certain state, I may want to go back there. So for me, it helped. And then delta, it is a very deep state of mind, a very deep state of mind, the unconscious mind, and even the collective consciousness. So this is the deep sleep where you're not dreaming. There's the automatic self-healing, the immune system function. Um, when you get in that state meditating, it seems like your body just recovered. It seems like 15 minutes for me of delta meditation. It is like, yeah, having, I don't know, 1 hour and a half nap. It is very powerful in that regard. In the theta meditation, and for me, it's very hard to get in the delta state meditating. I do need to use mantras to get there. Uh, so far, either mantras or another tool, like some type of visualization. But alpha and theta, and those are easier ways to get, especially with some tools and visualizations. For me, just yeah, and again, everything on its proper time. We're gonna do one step at a time. And right now, we're gonna do the meditation without many tools, without the visualization tools or any specific key, just so you understand the nature of mind. And as we go deeper in the journey and we want to access different states, we're going to use different keys to get in those states. But now the exercise is to understand nature of mind and to start benefiting from that. Okay. Concentration. So this is the goal of this module. And we want to practice concentration. We want to master concentration, practicing presence. It shows concentration instead of meditation here, because I really like the word. And back in my days in Brazil, where I came from, I used to go to the Santo Daime Church. It is a church where they use ayahuasca as a conductor to your divine. And there was a ceremony in the church I used to go called the concentration ceremony. Um, and that was my favorite type of ceremony. You would take the medicine, which is an entheogen, and you would sit with the medicine in silence for 3, 4 hours. And that was my favorite ceremonies. They had other types with chants and dancing, but that one for me was amazing, and I learned a ton from those. And then, as I mentioned, a couple of keys to get in different uh, altered states of mind. Ayahuasca is one of them. It is a beautiful, magnificent tool to access those levels. And I can tell you that I benefit a lot from those sessions of sitting with the medicine. You don't need to, but it helped me a ton. Um, so concentration. Concentration is to focus on only one thing, right? And concentration. We're gonna go back to the center and focus on only one thing. I got another definition here, which is the act of orientate the attention or the energy to only one goal. So this is what we want to master, practicing presence and achieving concentration. Why? As we do some more spiritual work, some spiritual techniques, I'll be guiding those activations, and I need your mind to focus, to concentrate in only that topic, in only my, for example, my voice or the energy that we're going to be presenting to you. So practicing presence and concentration, it'll be crucial, and it is crucial to any spiritual work. This is like basic, fundamental, and so important. Okay. Position, the asana. So asana is a Sanskrit word for position. And in yoga, for example, you're going to have hundreds of asanas. We, and definitely do a big parenthesis here again, it is very important to bring our study with context. So the yogis, they had time, a lifetime sometimes, to study spirituality and go through all of the asanas. We in the Western society, with our busy lives, we don't have time. We don't have that all that time to unfold those multiple systems. So what I'm trying to do here is to bring something practical that works and something simpler based on my own journey, my own perspective. So when you talk about position and asana, we will you will choose one position that is comfortable and you need to be seated. That's all I'm gonna ask. As we practice concentration and meditation, you can find the most comfortable position to you. It can be seated in a chair like I am right now. It can be seated against the wall with crossed legs or half lotus or full lotus. Anything that is comfortable, but I just ask you to be seated, to be sitting. Why? This is based on my own experiences with those altered states of mind and the, the spiritual journeys. As you're sitting erect, you're working as an antenna to the universe, to the greater mind. Laying down, uh, you can still have very deep states laying down, but there are disadvantages to it. One, you can sleep. That is the first one. In meditating, it is not sleeping. If you're sleeping while you're meditating, you probably need more sleep. So uh, be aware of that. And the second thing is really like the position, the vertical position. And that was taught to me in so many ayahuasca ceremonies. Like my guides would pull my ear, like, oh, do you want to go deep? Do you want to unfold some of those aspects and energies? So sit tight, meditate in a good posture. It's yeah, and for me, yeah, in a ceremony, I may just cross my legs, but anything that you use that you know is comfortable and you're not laying down. That's what I'm gonna ask. And I can give you some other tips like don't go meditate with full belly because you're gonna spend a lot of energy digesting your food, and it'll get you a little drowsy, low energy, and uh, it doesn't help. And I should have said that in the beginning, but the the most important tip to meditate is take the time to do it. Take the time to do it. It doesn't matter if it is 5, 10 minutes, 20 minutes, but commit to something every day and do it. And we're going to talk more about this in the Hermetic Principles too, but define something with an intention, you know, and an intention and a goal that is achievable to you, and accomplish that, you know, be loyal to your word. As you get more and more loyal to your word will start getting more powerful. It will create with the vibration. So if you have the intention to do every day for 10 minutes, I suggest 20. But if you can do 5, okay. If you can then do 10, okay. Just commit to something and do that every day, every day, every day. A commitment to yourself to do it. So I mentioned semantics, position, importance of concentration for spiritual work. Already went through that, and practicing presence. So, okay, that's a nice one. And this came to me in an experience back in 2021, in a very simple way. And I had an insight during a sacred circle. I was in the four corners, sitting with plant medicine, looking at the fire, and the insight I had that night is the most important thing you can do in your life is to be present. You chose to incarnate on earth, to experience 3D, to experience duality. And losing yourself in the past or in the future, it is losing the experience. You can only act and truly experience your life in the present moment, in the now. And there are levels of presence. The more you practice, the more presence you become, present you become. And during that night, I was looking to the fire, sitting with the plant medicine, and I kept just practicing presence and having this insight of practicing presence, practicing presence, practicing presence, because that was the thing I should do to be a better husband, to be a better father, to be a better colleague. And all of these insights were coming, how I could unfold all of that just practicing presence. And then at some moment in the fire, I saw an eye, and the eye kept looking at me. And that eye in the fire was myself. I was observing myself as I was thinking and practicing, not thinking, but practicing presence. At that point, it's not thinking anymore. It is just receiving. It is more a state of intuition. And that I was myself. And we're going to talk about the observer and this practice. I brought that I with me, and that it is just a way to say, but the I is always there. Have always been there with us. Who is the I? That is your higher self. It is the higher aspect of you. And we're going to exercise that. We're going to bring your higher self and start visualizing that inside of your mind. So every time you're thinking, You're going to watch yourself through another perspective. So close your eyes and imagine one eye. This eye is your higher perspective. Now, when you're thinking, if you're in the future or in the past, this eye, the observer, from a higher perspective, will watch and remind you if that's the thought that you're having is going to benefit you or not. You can open your eye and let's keep reminding ourselves of this observer. This is the eye of God. Let's anchor that inside of our minds and allow it to remind us of our own self. It's easy, for example, to be stressed with a situation, and then, I don't know, your colleague did something to you in work, and then now you're thinking, like, oh man, I wanna punch this guy in the face, and then let's remind ourselves about the observer. And then that's your higher self looking at you, looking at your thoughts. Is it going to benefit you? Let this observer tell us. Let this eye of God tell us. You're going to feel it. And then higher self versus lower self or protective self. I want to give you a key here. So we develop our personalities based on the your family, the way you were raised, the society, you know, all that start molding us, start shaping us. And we got this suit or this mask, right? This persona. And society keep telling us that we are this mask, right? And this is understood in many schools of thought as the lower self. And then we have something higher than that, universal, eternal, our essence, that is right there inside of us, just waiting for us to connect with it. It should remember. And as you get more awareness, this mask will not fit well anymore. It's like, oh, people keep telling me this mask is beautiful, but I mean, I don't feel comfortable with that anymore. And you start removing that. And you may even realize that in life you use different masks for different things. You may use one mask for the work, one mask for friends, one mask for her family. And there's something behind of that or above that. So your higher self is the aspect of God inside of you. It is your universal and eternal you. Some people call the lower self or ego, and I like to call it the protective self, because I realized that at some point I was pointing at my ego, like, oh no, that was my ego when I did something that was not coherent. That if I act from fear, if I act from, if I felt shame, whatever that was my ego. Like it was not myself, right? No, that's a part of me. So to embrace that aspect of myself, I start calling it my protective self, because it wants to protect my way of living, my reputation, my whatever it is. Like in the work, I may get very anxious because I want to deliver something in the deadline. That is the protective self, just trying to keep his word, you know, just trying to keep things stable in 3D because he came from that reality. So I start embracing my protective self, my ego, my lower self, um, showing him love. And come here, come here. Yeah, you want to scream, you want to cry, you want to yell. Okay, now did it manifest? Okay, now go back to the back seat now that you express yourself and allow my higher self to lead my life. So this is the practice. Understand it is part of you. Understand that many shadows reside in that aspect, but then the shadows, you don't push them away, you know, you you don't fight them. They are you. You embrace them because they have something to teach you. And once you allow your protective self to express, you just ask him to go back to the back seat of the car and allow your higher self to lead the way. And you're going to be practicing that. Okay. So what is going to be the practice? It's going to be to be present. And you're going to do that with the help of this observer, which is ourselves in a higher perspective, from a higher perspective. So every morning, you will express the intention of being present, and you're going to invite your higher self to watch you, your thoughts and emotions, and you're going to be that eye watching yourself. That is the daily practice for now. A vigil, watching what you're doing. And to experience the nature of mind, of course, we need to do some practice. So let's do it. I invite you to sit in a comfortable position. If you need some time, just pause the video and come back when you're ready. Sit in a comfortable position. Close your eyes. Relax your feet. Relax your legs. Relax your hips. Relax your belly. Relax your upper body, your arms, your hands. Relax your neck. Relax your chin, your jaw. Relax your face, your forehead. Be aware of your spine, how erect you are. Now allow yourself a minute to observe your thoughts. Do you have any thoughts right now? If you have, don't attach them. Just allow them to come in and to go out. Let them go and focus on my voice. Now let's focus on your breath. Breathing in and breathe out. Breathe in and breathe out. Breathe in and breathe out. If any thoughts appear to you, remember that you can let them go. Don't force anything. Allow them to come in and let them go. After you let them go back to your breath. Breathing in and breathing out. Now let's open this internal eye, inviting this eye to watch us, inviting our higher self to remind us of our own selves, of our own thoughts. Breathe in deeply and start bringing your awareness back to your body. Feel your body, your hands, your feet, really any parts of the body you feel your need. Stretching anything. you need. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes. Now take the moment to observe yourself and perceive if you have any change in your state of mind. Do the thoughts come more often, or did it slow down? The ratio with which your thoughts come to you, did it slow down? Do you still have a busy mind, or do you have a calmer mind? Did you feel any sensations in your body? Did you feel any emotion? Allow yourself a minute to integrate this experience. If you want to pause the video to write anything down, or just allow yourself to reflect about the state of mind you were in the beginning of the video and the state of mind you are right now. Notice if there were any differences. And now one thing I should have mentioned before is that meditation should be effortless. It seems almost like a paradox after everything I have said before. Guideline is, but that's the paradox. We need to reconcile that, because when you force something to happen, if you force those thoughts to not come, you lose the point. You get attached to it, attached to hold them, to control the experience. And this state of meditation, this state of mind, it is about to letting it go, to become more intuitive, more receptive. So with everything that is said, then remember, should be effortless. Yeah, I can tell you that my mind is much calmer right now. I'm also doing this exercise mentally, and we're going to invite the observer, the higher self, the eye of God, to be with us from now on, watching us, watching our thoughts, actions, intentions, and that will allow us or invite us to reflect if that is acting in benefit of our higher purpose. So let's practice this every day. From now on, I invite you to do that, to practice presence and to have this observer inside of your mind, reminding you of your own actions and of your own self. That was all for today. I hope you have enjoyed. If you haven't registered for the course yet, you still have time. And see you soon.